Good morning, all. At this moment, I want to welcome specifically all the members, and my president is on board, Mr. Bildun Ogunjubi. Thank you so much, Mr. President of NAPE, for finding time amidst your very busy schedule to attend Uyo Calabar chapter technical meeting. You have always been there for us, and we really appreciate you. All right, and so without much ado, we'll go straight into the announcement. So I would like to, before we go into the announcement, we'll take the safety briefing. So I'd like to invite our dear brother to take the safety briefing. Sikan, if he's here. If he's not here, then the General Secretary, Dr. Emeka, can do that. Dr. Emeka, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity, my coordinator. So we'll just be talking on the safety generally and very briefly. So wherever you are, I hope you're safe and you're secure. And you have to take note of your surroundings, especially concerning this period when Nigeria is facing a few safety challenges. We're advised to go gray and not to be too flashy wherever we are so that we don't attract unnecessary attention to ourselves. And from time to time, make sure you keep fit and allow the blood to flow through your veins. Thank you very much, my coordinator.
Thank you very much, General Secretary. So we'd like to take the announcement before we go straight into the introduction of the speaker and the chairman. Thank you. So Dr. Kufre, Publicity Secretary, will take the announcement. Tunde, please, can you share the announcement on the screen, please? Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank everybody and the coordinator for the opportunity for me to take the announcement. Please, I had some difficulties in having the slides. So please, I ask, okay, I have them here. All right, so please, the announcements that we have are as follows. We are currently having the Uyo Calabar chapter technical and business meeting. Now, tomorrow, hello, sir, please the screen. Okay. Tomorrow, 22nd, the North America chapter will be having their technical and business meeting by 4 p.m. The speaker is Dr. Nosa Omodion. He's going to speak on the latent opportunities in Nigeria's rapid evolving energy landscape. Like I said, the date is tomorrow, 22nd of March, 2024. The link is there for those who would like to join the technical session. Please just keep sliding the screen for me. Then on the 26th, we'll have the Port Harcourt chapter technical and business meeting. The speaker is Dr. Adelola Adesida. He's the senior exploration geoscientist at Shell. He's going to speak on unlocking exploration and development opportunities in deep water Nigeria using regional geology and high-end geophysical tools. The physical venue for the technical meeting will be at the Royal Banquet Hall of Hotel Presidential, Port Harcourt. And the link is also there for those that will join online. Once again, the date is Tuesday, 26th March 2024, and time is 11 a.m. Then the Warri chapter of NAPE will have their technical meeting on Tuesday, 26th also, March 2024. The speaker will be Dr. Jerry Osokpo. He's a petroleum geoscientist at FUPRE. He's going to speak on predicting hydrocarbon source formation and stratigraphic complexities in proximal deltas, an example from Ocean Niger Delta Basin, Niger Delta Basin shale deposits. Time will be 3 p.m. West African time, and the online link is also there for us to join. The NAPE Annual International Conference and Exhibition comes up on November from 10th to 14th. Venue, as usual, is Eco Hotel in Lagos. The theme for this year's annual conference is Revolving the Nigerian Energy Trilemma: Energy Security, Sustainable Growth, and Affordability. That is going to be the 42nd in the series of our annual international conference and exhibition. I've mentioned the date already, and I've given you the theme. So let's start to prepare for the conference and send our abstracts on time, so it could be published and we'll be there to make our presentations. So the call for abstracts is ongoing. The sub-themes are there. So you just go to NAPE website, you will get other details for the conference and send your papers, your abstract in line with the sub-themes of the conference. Next is our dues. Endeavor to pay your annual dues. Student members, their annual dues is 2,000, while active members, their dues is 12,000. Endeavor to pay up your dues. Associate members also pay 12,000, while corporate members pay 50,000. NAPE relies on our dues to fund the activities that are undertaken by the association within the year. So please let us try and pay up our dues. Thank you for listening. God bless you. I wish us a very successful technical business session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PS, for that run through of our programs for the year. So at this moment, I'd like to welcome our president, the president of NAPE Worldwide, to give us his opening remarks. Mr. President, please, Mr. Abiodun Ogunjobi. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ari, and thank you for that accolade worldwide. I didn't know that there is such a title. All right, so a warm welcome to each and every one of us to to this technical meeting on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the Advisory Council, and the EXCO of the Nigeria Association of Petroleum Explorationists. It is a privilege for me to be here on this platform with you. I want to welcome each and every one of us to this platform. This meeting is one of such meetings that NAPE as an association is very passionate about, because it presents a valuable opportunity for us to come together to share insights and collaborate on how to advance our industry. So I encourage each and every one of us to take this section seriously. And the topic that we have for discussion today is also a germane topic. You know, leadership in crisis management is very essential for every organization, because some of the insights that we discussed today are something that will guide us through challenging times, ensuring that we build resilience and ultimately be able to safeguard the interest of all stakeholders. I have no doubt that the resource person for the presentation today will be able to do justice to that, because we operate in an environment that is loaded with one form of crisis or the other. So we need to remind ourselves continuously on how we make decisions, how we communicate, how we also allocate resources to be able to manage such crises. And I want to enjoy each and every one of us to take the time to listen, ask questions, and I'm sure that at the end of the day, we will all be refreshed and added some values to our scale. On that note, I would like to congratulate the executive and members of the UYO chapter for putting this together. So thank you very much, and do enjoy the rest of the listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I'm so excited to have you on our call, and we want to say that we appreciate you and for all the things you're doing for NAPE all over the country. Thank you so much, sir. We really love you. Thank you, sir. All right. So at this moment, we would like to invite the chairman of the representative of the advisory committee of NAPE, newly nominated and confirmed, Professor Akpabio, to introduce the chairman of today's event. Prof, please. Hello, Prof.
Okay, good morning once again, and welcome everyone to this technical and business presentation. In today's workshop, we have someone that is very dear to our heart, that is going to serve as the chairman on this occasion. The person who's at this instance, the UYO Calabar chapter came to be. He was the first coordinator of the UYO Calabar chapter, and he stands tall and has been giving every maximum support that the UYO Calabar chapter needs. It's my pleasure to invite Dr. Ekere Akpan to be heralded as the chairman on this occasion. Thank you and welcome on board, Dr. Ekere Akpan.
Thank you very much, Professor Akpabio. Good to hear from you. In the first place, I want to thank the president of NAPE, my very good friend, youthful friend, that God has helped him to come this far. So, sir, you are wholly welcome. I thank the coordinator of this erudite, strong chapter, able chapter. He has been able to sustain the dream. Just hearing that Professor Akpabio is now a member of the advisory council, it thrills me. I'm really glad to see this development in this part of the country. I thank everyone, and I also see on the road Mr. Ehi Bazweye of Port Harcourt chapter, who has been a key player in NAPE. I also see other members of the ECO, former member of the advisory council, Dr. Abraham Odo, is here. Please forgive me to recognize the father, one of the key leaders and founders and key leaders and the strong Iroku of NAPE, Mr. Alex Ataga, on the call I'm seeing here. I also see other key players who are very strong and have been putting robust, strong control and support in NAPE, all in this call. The Lord will bless you all. I, at this juncture, want to appreciate the coordinator of NAPE, Uyo Calabar chapter for the choice of this talk, because sometimes one can be technically very sound and the leadership could be technically very sound, but they do not know the tools to use to handle crisis in organization. And the speaker that we are opportuned to have tonight, this morning, is someone I really know. And for a couple of years, he has been involved in the union engagement in universal energy. I was then the vice chairman of PENGASSAN, and he played a key role and now has rose to the position of the protocol officer, PRO of PENGASSAN. And he has vast experience over the years in ExxonMobil, both technically, I think if I'm not making a mistake, he's a petroleum engineer, and he has been playing key role in resolving crises in industry in Nigeria, not only ExxonMobil and all that are operators in the Niger Delta. So I have no doubt in his capacity to handle this subject. And I thank God that he is here available for us today. And a lot of us will learn from him. So above all, I thank everyone in this call that has have time to attend this technical meeting. The Lord be with you all. And so at this point, I want to give the floor to whoever has been taken by the coordinator to introduce the speaker of today, who is Mr. Dr. Kingsley Udoidua. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my immediate past coordinator and my mentor, for this opportunity and for all the introductory speeches that you made. I want to thank you for always creating time for Uyo Calabar chapter, even with your busy schedule. Thank you so much, Dr. Ikere. And I know that after the technical presentation, that you'll be here again to summarize before we have the questions and other responses in the meeting. So just to introduce the speaker a little bit, even though Chairman has already done so, Mr. Kingsley Udoidua is a petroleum engineer by training, vastly experienced, and works for ExxonMobil. And also, he is the national PRO of PENGASSAN, Nigeria, and also the president of eVision Datamind. And so, without much ado, he's been involved with so much leadership initiatives across not just Nigeria, across the world, and is vastly experienced. So I want to introduce him to take up the presentation, and then thereafter, we'll have a short game and then also summarize before we finalize today's meeting. Again, I want to welcome all the past leaders of NAPE, which has already been mentioned by my chairman, for coming on board. I can also see my very good friend, the current advisory council member for Warri chapter, Mr. Wilson Osung, thank you so much for creating time to be here, and all the leaders of the industry, especially my president, once again. So at this moment, I want to welcome the speaker for today, Mr. Udoidua. Thank you very much, and God bless. I like to meet my people. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm excited to be here. Professor somehow for the topic itself was not a possible. Experiencing several crises, then the organization, industry, and personal life, great treasure to get the way. More especially the and president of the market, and very much special. Today we will be discussing leadership. Leadership is great. Crisis is like fire. The good servant, the very bad master. That is for the servants. Without crisis, there are certain dimensions of life. So when it happens, Adam makes or it must. I'm glad that now we are choosing this topic because we are in that era in our world today. Certain things are happening, especially in the industry with certain drives and move in the oil and gas industry. The massive transition from fossil fuel to renewable energy, and the crime supporters asking for those transitions, especially for those nations and communities that are not yet connected to go through fully gas or fully renewable energy. So, the course of our conversation today is identify those opportunities in leadership. And if it's no longer a matter of when crisis comes, we're able to stand up, speak for us. And so, in that light, whenever you have crisis, something is going to happen. A lot of us, and that's why we avoid crisis. That's how we manage it. And to raise how this crisis touching some cases happening around the world. So the next thing is we tend to anticipate and I hope everyone is very good to join this course. I know this space is full of philosophy class, and probably some of the things are shared, which you already know. Expecting to be able to great loss or to look at should be our work is as we face several issues, challenges that some were unavoidable, some were avoidable, whatever the case they happen. And the next slide, we're going to see that sometimes in 2012 in Nigeria, we had the fuel subsidy attempt by the government of the fuel subsidy led to prices at the national dimension. Of course, recently the announcement by Mr. President of the actual renewal
also labor, so the labor crisis. So next slide. From there, from the first subsidy crisis, we have other crises. Number 12 is still fresh in our mind. It was such a big crisis that it led to very, the loss of lives, and even the death of the person in question, the led Udoidua. So, but people wake up the scope of that crisis until it culminated in what we call the final resolution in the government of Mr. Mama and who eventually went to the government. Next one, our COVID-19 plus behind hospital and some 3 years ago, the life of 4 years, so to say, that changed the face of business globally. It was a major global crisis that everyone was looking for leadership. In fact, in our epoch and our time, there's never been a crisis like that. During 12, this one was a global dimension, bigger than anything anybody in this generation has ever seen. And then we are here today, we better clothing, we came, there was planning, there was decision to be made. And about that time, I was the vice chairman of PENGASSAN, the entire ExxonMobil. We had decisions to make. The first challenges. And one of those challenges included the fact that there was a lot of attrition. Companies could no longer sustain headcount. Even the mainstream production industries could not even manage their inventory. At some point, the West Texas would have to be given even the money. So, as I heard say that people were saying about -$3 per barrel. -$3 simply means that the company had to pay people $3 to take out the benefit so that they don't stop production, we get into another time. And then we talk about the next major global problem, which was the ExxonMobil crisis at the digital base. So if we put all of this together, we can talk about it again and again and again and again. And our war refers to so many 9/11 in the United States, the Deepwater Horizon spill, and then not forgetting the recent one happening in Rwanda, 1994, the Rwanda genocide. Of course, the one that is currently facing the war, the Russian, the Ukraine war. So, what does that mean? Our war has been inundated, crisis, press in on every side. And so, when it happens, all we have to do is facing our money. For each time we have a crisis, it is not just the very people at the forefront that are affected by this crisis. Because all you see is not all the reason. So what we see many times basically not the tip of the iceberg, where it affects beyond just the macro level, goes to the very micro level of society. And somebody that lost his work during the COVID, not only affected by his loss of salary, his family, his community, the support system that he was came crumbling down. So you see, when it happened at the national level, the tribes, even the state and the community, they are down to the very high levels. But when this crisis happened, they come at a very big cost, massive cost. The cost of crisis is beyond what anyone can imagine. And one of such, the human factor, human cost. Each time there is crisis like that, the people that are affected.
Maybe let's say there's a union strike, for instance. You see that accident and labor strike not only disrupt operation, but also disrupt and pose risks to worker, their safety and their well-being. So it's not only there. And then the environmental impact that comes with, say, a spill. I'm looking at the impact of crisis from strike, the impact of crisis from the environment, right? And then you also think about the impact of crisis from the economy. During any typical market meltdown, nations and petroleum companies face declining revenues, layoffs, and asset devaluations. You see? And then those ones have spiraling effect that cut into other aspects of the very fabric of life and society. Not only that, some instances, it involves the cost of your reputation, so that investors may begin to question what's happening in that particular situation and withdraw their support. Other sort include regulatory scrutiny. You can imagine, when any time there's an incident, let's say in the Nigerian oil and gas space, the regulators are coming to find out what were the issues. They dig deep very highly. And so you cannot really escape these things because they have come to stay with us. And worst is, in some instances, some of those crises involve international sanctions, especially what is happening with Russia and Ukraine right now. And with all of the sanctions comes economic pressure and political isolation and some other humanitarian issues that comes with them. So you see, crisis has come to deal with us. But we are leaders. We are leaders. And we cannot escape those things. So the question is no longer, should there be crisis? It should be when it happens, how do we manage it? Members of NAPE all around the world, you find yourself in a position where critical decisions about the playing in the industry rest on your shoulder. And until we learn this very vital, I know over the course of time, business and technical discussions like this have always focused on the very technical, the stratigraphy and the rest of those things. But now we're talking about the leadership angle of it. I had a conversation with a top leader in an organization once. And that was just on top of the COVID era. And then a lot of people were losing their jobs. So I, as the branch chairman, I had a conversation. I said to the man that I'm concerned about the level of attrition in our organization. And now, the loss of job then was not only that company let people off. It was that individuals also could no longer bear the pressure. Some people needed to leave the work because imagine that during that COVID, people lost their job, and then the few that remained had to do the rest of the work. And so some came under tremendous pressure. And I said, I'm concerned, sir. And the man said to me, that is not concerned that is losing workers, as is concerned that is losing leaders. Because let's say engineers, for instance, an organization can put up an advert, and we have engineers all over the world, the best of them, who can do engineering work. But being an engineer is not enough to drive changes in organization, to drive the bottom line. And that's not to say it's accountant that will do those things. But leaders are those who rise up to the occasion. And so when you begin to lose leaders, it makes you really have a lot of concern about the next phase of the business. So we're going to be talking about the concept of leadership very briefly. And it throws the big question. What is leadership? Now, if we throw this open right now, we will have as many responses as there are the numbers of people we have in the room now. Because this is a concept that will always evolve with thought, with ideologies, with different synonyms and all what have you. But one of the most inspiring definitions of leadership that sits with me, or that starts with me, if you like, is the one that I came across when I was doing some review about my post-work life, the kind of leader I want to be. And I want to share that definition with you. Leadership, simply, in its very raw state, means the assumption of responsibility, of guidance, control, directing. The assumption of responsibility, of guidance, control, and directing, following a burden of higher and superior knowledge, higher intelligence and superior knowledge or information that comes to you. So, very simple. Leadership, the assumption of responsibility, of guidance, control, and directing, following the burden of higher intelligence, superior knowledge, or information. Now, leadership is not just about guiding and controlling or directing. Sometimes people find themselves in situations where they have to provide guidance, but not necessarily out of greater information, greater insight. And in crisis, such people sometimes become the victim. You can imagine, maybe, let's say, in an offshore, if you are in an offshore location and then a crisis bursts out. Let's say there's a spill that is spiraling, or maybe fire, God forbid, that is spiraling. Sometimes you may discover that the person in charge of that location may just be the one running away, being the first person to look for a way to escape. All right? So leadership is not just about that guidance, but it is based on that deeper and higher insight that you have. It is more because you have higher intelligence, superior knowledge, or information with which you lead the rest of the pack. And so because of that, there are certain things that must become known of leaders. What I call the must of leadership. The must of leadership. And one of them, the very first one for me, is that every leader must be accountable. Become accountable, holding yourself to a higher standard where the burden of higher intelligence is not felt. Then leadership will discourage. But where the burden of higher intelligence is felt amongst the people that you lead, leadership becomes very inspiring. I've had the blessed opportunity to meet with leaders and have people who have led me across the industry in my organization. I've had MDs that we can't stop talking about them in the industry because they provided leadership when it mattered. I remember back then in 2008 when we had the first major labor strike in our organization, and we had to take a trip when some mediation attempts came forth. I had to take a trip to the NMPC then, and then it was one Mr. Yaradua that was the GMD of NMPC. And our MD then said to the GMD, well, we cannot discuss with the union until they start up the operation. We are an American company. In America, we don't discuss under duress. And then the GMD, while not supporting the union in going for that strike, clearly told the MD then, he said, well, we have a situation at hand. In Nigeria, we discuss under duress. Therefore, that brought that flair and peaceful atmosphere for the conversation to go, and the matter was settled on that table. And I want to use this opportunity from my own personal experience to really commend the leadership of NNPC. I think they have the golden, they always have the golden midpoint, the magic one in resolving issues. I mean, I've seen it again and again and again. And I can speak of the current former GMD, now the GCEO, Malam Kiari, because consistently you will see when it looks really, really tough, he steps into the picture. And then the matter dies, in spite of how long it must have taken people to try to resolve them. That's leadership in crisis. And so they will take responsibility and be accountable. And then the next most important thing about leaders that a leader must have is that every leader must be responsible. Responsible is a compound word that has response and able. So a leader must be responsible. That means whenever a leader fails to assume responsibility, then that leader does not recognize the burden of leadership and therefore not qualified to be called a leader. And then the next one, leaders must take action. Leaders don't wait for things to hem in on them. They take action. Sometimes a very difficult action, making that very difficult decision. Indecision itself is a decision. Sometimes people don't take decision out of fear, but it's a decision they have made. But if you're going to lead in crisis, you've got to really show that mettle of leadership. Because if you have superior knowledge and you do nothing with it, to this you do not have it. The last on this is the fact that leaders must be inspiring. Because if leadership is not inspiring, that's not leadership. Even in crisis, our world is full of examples and people that have, led and functioned in those capacities, that have led several changes to happen around our world. Please, can you move the slide for me? We just have a few more slides before we get to the end of this. So next, I want to talk about stuff of leaders. What makes a leader a leader? See? So the next item you see begin to show us, there's a proverb, an African proverb that tells us that the smoothest sails in the smoothest sea do not make skillful sailors. So, but when those challenges begin to come to you, what do you do in those particular instances? So that's what we want to talk about now. Now, in the annals of history, around the world, our world is faced with several crises. But the true mettle of great leaders is not necessarily tested during moments of calm, but amidst the tempest of crisis. It is during this pivotal moment that great leaders emerge, steering their organizations or communities through turbulent waters with courage. Great leaders understand that crisis is not merely a test of endurance, but an opportunity for transformation. You see, and I want to really speak a little about the word transformation. Many times we have confused reformation with transformation. The Nigerian prison services, the name was changed just sometimes the leadership of President Buhari from Nigerian prisons to Nigerian Correctional Center. And what they do there is mostly reforms. But the word transform is beyond just doing things differently. So when you reform, you do things differently. But when there is transformation, you not only do things differently, you change the very structure upon which the things you do are standing. So leaders transform. And that's powerful. That's powerful. And so we are going to be talking about the gains of effective leadership. I know I'm talking to very professional people, so I hope I'm not rushing too much. I'd like to know, Prof. Tom, please let me know if I'm rushing too much. And I also like to know if I'm very slow.
No,
But
you're okay. You're on good speed. You're on good
Is
speed.
everybody hearing me? Are we making progress?
Yes, you're on good speed, sir.
Yeah, thank you so very much, Prof. So we'll discuss the gains of effective leadership. One of the first gains that comes with effective leadership is growth. During crisis, immediately after the crisis, people have grown, not physically speaking. They have grown emotionally. They have become tougher. And that leads, at the end of the day, to win-win situations. And growth results at the end of the day. The second very, very, very powerful gains of effective leadership in crisis is collective action. Everybody is responsible. Everybody is responsible. I recall one of our incidences in the past, a PIC. As people were running around, the person in charge of the facility had to beckon on one of the staff in the kitchen to close a valve. The guy quickly said, well, I don't know how to close a valve. The PIC didn't know who it was, just needed someone to take action. He said, I can't close a valve. The man said, you will learn today. Now everybody becomes collectively involved in solving problems in the midst of crisis. Because that's what leadership is all about. And so, you can see, the next one that happens during crisis with good leadership is innovation and sustainability. The moment you come out of that, when COVID came, people knew better ways of doing. Today, we are having this meeting. I'm still trying to stretch my imagination to think that if COVID didn't come, if this meeting will happen this way. With COVID came the technology to collaborate, to discuss, to have meetings, to work from home, and organizations overhead on several areas were reduced. People could start having programs where they work from home, remote work plan, and evolution of technologies that take over certain aspects of our business. So you see, it's not all bad. It's part of the gains of crisis. Very amazingly so. And then the last but not the least that comes with such changes during crisis is the forging of new frontiers. So by learning from past crises, companies realize that there are new frontiers to get into, and that strengthens resilience and risk management framework, ensuring greater stability and longevity in the face of future challenges, getting people more prepared, and that when it happens again, all of the work system, the work packs, the documentation, the processes, even the thought process that goes into resolving a problem, evolve people and challenge them to new levels of leadership. Now, having talked about crisis, leadership, we want to look at examples of some of our global examples, even some within our own sub-region, of leaders that have stood up in times of crisis and showed their mettle. Now, the list is not exhaustive, and we're just sharing some thoughts so that, I mean, we all know, if I throw a question now, maybe I could just ask a question. I could just ask a question. Who, in your own thought, maybe if I ask you, mention just one person, you don't have to tell me, you can just type it, send it as a message. As one of the leaders around the world, maybe in Nigeria, in your own space, but let it be someone all of us know. In your own space, in Africa, and globally, that you think have been one of those most inspiring leaders you think you could reckon with. I'm looking at the chat. I want to see those names. So I'm waiting just to be sure. Prof, please help me confirm that everybody's hearing me. We just have to interact at this point.
We are hearing you, sir.
Yes. Please, let's have more names. Inspiring leaders, crisis. Prof, I'm not getting a response. It's not a one-man show. Dear Nape, we explore. Let's not only explore the ground. Yeah, I can see Pastor Chris Oyakilome. I can see the Elon Musk. Elon Musk. And we are using Elon Musk internet to relate with you. That's inspiring. Peter Obi, thank you. Yes, inspiring leaders who in the midst of staggering opposition and challenges, they are able to lead. Yes, yes. Dr. Lai Fatona, Mr. Austin Avuru, Nelson Mandela. Yes, keep them coming, keep them coming. So you see, we have leaders. People are already talking about all of them, different faces here. Now, so we are going to see, let's have the slide up. Just see. Yeah. I've seen Vladimir Putin. Thank you. I've seen Adolf Hitler in my head. Thank you so very much. So we are going to do a little bit, a beam of a searchlight into, several leaders around the world. So let's search them. Who are there? Where are they? Yes, Abraham Lincoln. Who do we have there? Who goes there? Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. Who is next? Go to India. Mahatma Gandhi is there. Who follows next? Winston Churchill. Now think about this. If Winston didn't stand up in the time of crisis, what would have happened to the World War then? And of course, in country or in Africa, we have Paul Kagame of Rwanda, who stood up when it matters. Our own Olusegun Obasanjo, who became a champion of peacekeeping across the African sub-region. And then, of course, the great Nelson Mandela of South Africa. And then the next one is you. I can see your name. It's you. Go, yes, you. Yes, you. You are that next great leader. I thought at this point we should put our hands together for ourselves. And I really want to thank Doctor, because putting this together itself is a great insight into leadership. Because seeing beyond today, as Nigeria is evolving, especially in this decade of gas, that we are moving away from fossil and going gradually into talking about gas, implementation of gas, and all of the things that are happening in that space, becomes necessary to understand engagement at that very high level. With the PIA according certain rights and privileges to communities that oil and gas organizations and companies have to pay a certain percentage of their cost expense to the community. You can imagine how many crises will happen amongst the communities because of this new money. And some of them will fall on the head of the leaders of these oil and gas companies. So you see, this is really an opportunity to discuss. Let's get back to the slide. And I really thank Doctor for bringing this up for us. So now, I've already mentioned those leaders in passing, one after the other. But the first one, I want to talk about the things they did. Abraham Lincoln, you know him. Through his leadership at the time, Abraham Lincoln led the United States through the Civil War, preserving the Union and abolishing slavery. And I remember one of his most iconic quotes. He said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Yes, that is the future. And today, America, the great United States of America, have become a hub for everyone who wants to see this, the nation of dreams, where dreams are realized. Because one man stood up when it mattered to be counted. Next one is my great leader, friend Mahatma Gandhi, one of the most inspiring leaders in the world. In crisis, he employed the nonviolent resistance to lead India to independence from British colonial rule. And I remember one of our value chains we like talking about, we say, be the change that you want to see. Mahatma Gandhi said to the world, be the change that you wish to see in the world. Instead of asking for the change, you become the change. You become the change. That is Mahatma Gandhi for you. The next one, yes. Next great leader to talk about is Martin Luther King. You will never speak of great leaders and inspiring leaders in crisis without talking about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was he that declared boldly that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And therefore, with his method, he employed and spearheaded the civil rights movement in the United States, advocating for racial equality and justice. And they had it. I move on, and then we talk about Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore. Through his leadership, when his country was economically down, far removed from civilization, Lee Kuan Yew stepped in when it mattered and transformed Singapore from a struggling nation into a thriving first world economy. I recommend one of his books, From Third World to First. Very voluminous. You go read it and be inspired in leadership and nation building. Because a nation is not just a country. A nation is what is organized around ideologies and wisdom. So that's what he did. And then from Lee Kuan Yew, we go. My next great leader, Nelson Mandela, who overcame apartheid in South Africa and worked towards reconciliation and unity as the country's first Black president. Imagine one who went through such contradictions of oppression from all sides and came back and with wisdom and tact led the nation out of that crisis. And today, South Africa is one of the top African countries competing in several areas with the rest of the world. And then, of course, we had our next person, our own Olusegun Obasanjo. As president of Nigeria, President Obasanjo played a pivotal role in resolving conflict in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, contributing to peace and stability in the West African sub-region. And he did that without fear. And there's some of these quotes that I picked from his book, Under My Watch. He said, Nigeria has no place for those who seek to promote religious intolerance, or who promote sectionalism, or who promote ethnic divisions. And President Obasanjo, I dare to say, is one of the most pro-national leader that we have ever had in this country. And then the last on the list, in this particular direction, we talk about the Paul Kagame of Rwanda, who led the recovery from the devastating, ethnic cleansing genocide of 1994. And not only did he do that, taking, cue from other leaders of peace in the world, promoted reconciliation and economic development. And today, Rwanda is one of the go-to places, not in Africa, in the world. If you have taken a trip to Rwanda, it will bear testimony to the quality of leadership that Paul Kagame provided for his people. And so, in conclusion, I like to say this, that every time we have opportunity to lead, it beckons on us to lead with purpose, to lead with intent. And that's why, as leaders in the petroleum industry, we have a responsibility to practice safety, prioritize sustainability, and the well-being of your stakeholder. It is of no use when during crisis, everybody is looking up to someone, and then after that, everybody fails. So you want to show that kind of leadership. Secondly, in conclusion, leadership in crisis management is not just merely about reacting to challenges, but about proactively managing risk and mitigating them and fostering resilience. That is the stuff of leader you see in all of these leaders I've shared with you. In conclusion then, let us continue to collaborate, innovate, and lead with integrity to build a more resilient and sustainable future for the petroleum industry. As we navigate the complexities of our increasingly volatile and uncertain world, let us draw inspiration from the exemplary leaders who have illuminated the path forward with courage, passion, and conviction. So I think that is the end of my presentation today. I want to use this opportunity to thank once again all members of NAPE who have given me audience to share this thought, my experience, and my personal touch with conflict leadership. And also want to thank the erudite Professor Tom Harry for the privilege to share on this platform with great leaders. And if you have any question, I'm sure we will find time to discuss and to answer them. But before I round up finally, I thought we have had enough opportunity to interact. And I felt there's no better way than for us to end this with a game. This game is very simple. It's just going to test and get you to interact from where you are. And if you have another device, it's time to bring it out. At the end of this game, certain people will climb the podium virtually and we'll be able to announce to them what they will win. So you're just going to answer about 10 multi-choice questions, just 10 virtually, and then make progress from there. So, first of all, do we have that? Do we have that slide now? No, I don't have it. So, can you project the? Yes. Please zoom it in. Now, this is what we want to do. Zoom it into the address. Just bring out your phone very briefly. Type www.kahoot.com. Oh, .it, sorry. www.kahoot.it. And then when you do that, it's going to give you opportunity to enter a game pin. And in a bit, please, media, can you move to to the space. Now everybody is now being invited to join. And as you join, I will know here, and you also know. So we have a game pin that is now showing. If you see that game pin, type it into your Kahoot that you joined. I'm waiting for players now. The website is www.kahoot.it. It's just a simple game quiz based on what we have discussed. So as you join from everywhere, yeah, welcome Joseph. Joseph is the first man to join. Yes, I'm looking for more. And I can accept up to a maximum of 50 people on this game. But once we get, yeah, good to have you, Idara. Idara, good to have you. Welcome. Thank you, Tunde, for joining us. Dr. Ekere Akpan. Is that the Dr. Ekere Akpan I know? Former
Sure.
Professor Energy, is it?
Yeah, now Savannah.
Oh, doctor, good to have you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right. Great doctor, amazing gentleman. So let's have more people join us, please. We have 33 people on the bridge. Welcome, Williamson. It's going to be a very fun game. It's going to be a very fun game. You will love it. You will just love it. As you play, challenging yourself with answering leadership questions. Now, the way the question is coined is such that you can be tempted to pick anything. For every time you pick an answer, the top 5 people that have the highest score will be listed. They will be listed on the podium. You will see them. Or maybe you will see it on the main screen. Welcome, Usman. Okay, so let's say in the next 2 minutes, I will just work with the numbers I have. I'll just work with the numbers I have. We have Dr. Ekere, Usman, Verabui, Vera Ruby, I beg your pardon, Williamson, Tunde, Idara, Joseph. So once it is 12:15, we will start the Kahoot. And once we start, you can't join anymore. But Dr. Sari, if you want me to give them more time, that's fine. But from my end, I thought we should hurry over it because I know I have very busy people on the bridge and they should be able to finish what we're doing. And
yeah, I think we can work with the number we have because of time.
Okay. All right. So right now we have Esther Obot, Dr. Ekere, Usman, Vera Ruby, Williamson, Tunde, Idara, and Joseph. Now let me tell you the rules of the game. Once I start the game, you will be able to see. You will be able to see just a moment. I'm trying to open my own space. Yeah, you'll be able to see the question on your screen. You see the question on your own screen. Now, the faster you answer the question, the more score you will have if you have it right. And then we'll move to the next question. And at the end of the day, 3 winners will emerge. I want to announce the award that will be given to the 3 winners. I'd like media to show us the book written by Professor Tom Harry. Each of the top 3 winners will receive a copy of that book. Yes, it's showing now, A Guide to Earth History, written by Dr. Tom Harry. And then an additional book from our organization, the Knowledge Warehouse, where you will receive a branded t-shirt where your initials will be printed and sent to you. The t-shirt is imprinted Learnosphere, the Knowledge Warehouse Learnosphere. Learnosphere means an atmosphere for learning. And so you're going to receive a branded t-shirt of that with your name printed on it and sent to you, wherever you are in this great world of ours. Okay, so with that said, let's get ready to Kahoot. Please, let's show the screen so everybody can see. Each question lasts some 20 seconds, some 30 seconds, very few 1 minute. We are ready to start. Kahoot at work. Let's go. Effective leadership in crisis situation. 3, 2, 1, Kahoot! Your organization is facing a major oil spill. What is your immediate leadership response? I'm sure you should be seeing that. And it's counting us. So that's 30 seconds. Once the 30 seconds is over. Once the 30 seconds is over, you will show the answer. Confirm you're seeing the answer from your end. The options. Are you seeing the options?
Yes.
Yeah. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 seconds. That question is closed. At the end of that round, you can see about 10 people answered. So let's see what happens. The first scoreboard showed us that Mr. Joseph is leading the board, scoring 592 points. And the other 5 people yet to score. That's the beauty of Kahoot. We go to the next question, question number 2. This is a multi-select question, which comes with a double point. A labor strike is looming, threatening to disrupt operations. How do you immediately approach this situation? Welcome to Kahoot. How do you approach this situation? Select your answers. It's counting down. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. You're seeing it. The countdown is over. Who made it? Let's see. Ooh, Joseph is leading the pack. Dr. Ikere following. People are doing well now. Let's go. Who wants to Kahoot? Your company is experiencing a financial downturn. What is your strategy to navigate through this? It's counting down 30 seconds. The first option, identify new market opportunity, cut cost streaming operation to maintain profitability, seek external funding, or review business processes. Which one would you go for immediately? 6 people have answered so far. 9 people have answered. 10 people have answered. 11 answers. Oh, time up. If you didn't answer, I'm sorry for you. Hey, Joseph is on fire. Joseph has a streak with 3 correct answers in a row. Let's give it up for Joseph, even though he's not the one leading the pack. But at least he's on fire. I like to meet Joseph. You do need a title to become an effective leader. What is your answer? You do need a title to become an effective leader. Let's see. Only 4 answers. It's counting down. This one was 20 seconds. It will soon be over. 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh, it's over. Because everybody have answered. Let's see. Oh! 3 players have reached answer streak 3. Yes. But you can see the leaderboard now. Dr. Ikere is leading. Next question. Question number 5. An accident has occurred at one of your facilities, resulting in injuries to employees. What is your first immediate response? What do you do the first thing? Query the departmental head for negligence. Communicate transparently to stakeholders. Implement reviewed safety protocols to prevent a repeat. Ensure immediate medical attention to injured personnel. What would you do first? 6 answers so far. 7. 10 seconds. 10 answers. All have answered. Everything is clear. Bingo! Ikere, no go gree. Next question. Question 6. Actually, there are just 9 questions in all, but the other 10 is just not. Your company is facing a PR issue, crisis, due to allegation of executive misconduct. What is your approach to addressing this? conduct a thorough investigation, apologize for any wrongdoing, and commit transparency and accountability, or downplay the allegation while highlighting company's positive side. How would you handle this? Immediately, the first thing. Okay. Let's see. Woo! Idara is climbing. Next question. Your company is facing a cybersecurity breach compromising sensitive customer data. How do you manage this crisis? It's coming to you. Shut down operation until you show the cause of breach. Immediately implement measures to contain and protect remaining data. Review security protocols and make improvement. Notify affected parties and regulatory authority. 10 answers. Bingo. Let's see who are the leaders. Whoa. What happened? Williamson have jumped from nowhere into number 4. While reducing Dr. Ikere to number 4. Wow. 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 Next question. This comes with a double point. Your company is facing allegation of environmental misconduct, leading a public outrage. How do you handle this crisis? Initiate legal action against those defamations. Engage with experts and community. Acknowledge the concerns and move to addressing them through concrete actions. Dismiss allegation and defend company's reputation. 7 answers so far. Countdown. 10, 9, 8. All have been answered. Let's see. Who are the leaders? Woo! Things are happening in this place. Next. This comes with this is the last question, actually. Charismatic leadership is always beneficial in crisis. Be careful. Charismatic leadership is always beneficial in crisis. It comes with a double point. If you have it, it can jumpstart you. 8 answers so far. Oh, I feel sad. The answer is over. Unfortunately, what happened? We didn't see the leaderboard. So this one is, who in your considered opinion have been your most inspirational leader of all times? Just type your answer. Type the name of the person that inspired you over the course of time. It's counting down. 2 answers, 4 answers, 5. Six answers so far. Time down, countdown, 0 is over. Whoa! I can see Winston Churchill, Peter Obi, Nelson Mandela. Oh, my dad, Joe Biden, Sir Amadou Bello. Wow, 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 wow. Congratulations. Congratulations. So let's see. So that's all the questions we've had to answer. At this point, we'd like to see the winners. The podium is coming up. Based on the result, Dr. Ikere is on number 3. Let's give him a big hand. King is on number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, who is number 1? The number 1 winner for today is Williamson. And we have 2 runners up, Lala and Idara. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations.
Today in this event. And I'm signing off now. Thank you so much, Dr. Harry. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so very much. Oh, my goodness. This is awesome. So I'll call on the chairman to do the summary and round off before, and then probably we'll take the questions and you'll probably answer the questions. There's some that probably will need to take off board because of time. So over to you, my chairman, Dr. Ikere, and thank you for being a winner for today's Kahoot.
Thank you very much. I think I am it's quite an exciting session that I have really enjoyed this technical meeting in another shape. a lot of lessons to learn on this topic, because great justice has been done to leadership crisis management. And I said, as at the onset of this technical meeting, that the speaker is a person I have known so well, and I did not have any doubt over his capacity to handle the subject. And he has proved himself, because even, in fact, the pioneer structure of the union, labor union, that stabilized the management and the personnel of Universal Energy was driven by the speaker, Dr. Kingsley Udoidua, and is a well-known name in the corridor of labor union in Nigeria. And he's also doing that in his organization where he worked. He's known everywhere. I thank him so much. But lessons learned, take home. I think when I listened to him very well, I think this topic can be fine-tuned for international conference. One, if you look at the pattern of leadership now in oil industry, gone are the days that we have geoscientists, which at the onset, when we started exploration in Nigeria, was piloting their affairs. But there has been a shift in leadership in oil and gas organizations, even in everywhere in the world, from basically geoscientists being the CEOs, the MDs, and the chairman, now is shifting gradually to social scientists, the people who we felt read humanities in the school. They are pioneering their affairs because social scientists has a stint of leadership in training. And it's also my own personal recommendation from this bit, that leadership has to be a sub-course in reviewing the curriculum of geoscientists, because we all felt that if it is not seismic interpretation, if they fault or not, all these humanities, they are lazy, they are not that, and they are taking over the helms of their affairs. In my own organization, international organization in the world, acquiring assets everywhere, the CEO right now is a social scientist, and over 140-something engineers are answerable to him. And he's not a geoscientist. And when we see the trend of Dan Defo, Austin Avuro, Jide Ojo, late Macaulay Ofuri of late memory, and Chimbalin Oyibo, and Lai Fatone, when they all face out, you will see that the new crop of leaders that will be ruling the oil industry will be social scientists, because you see them having themselves embraced with a business administrative degree. And we are thinking, no, it should be, if I finish this, I go for PhD engineering, I go for another PhD engineering, I go to, but when it comes to management of people, we fell. We fell outrightly because we are thinking like hammer, it should be iron, it should be spinal, it should be this, it should be drilling. And so when it comes managing people, teamwork, we fell completely. And when the time comes at that echelon, because when we finish, you discover that at a certain level, you excel as a geoscientist. When it comes to choice of leadership, general managers, assistant directors, and so on, they will say, is he a team player? They say it's not. That man is so strict. Either you get it or you lose it. He cannot manage crisis. He's also saying, no, let's sack him. Let's do this. And the company will have issues. And when the investor sits down to look at this, say, who took this decision? And for example, there is an organization, I don't want to mention the name, that two operators were having disagreement in the site. And the leadership was a geoscientist. He said, no, let's sack him. They said, are there no rooms where you can look at what to be done? It's an onshore field. And somebody dismissal without benefit, without bringing them, negotiating them, training them. Have you given them that training? No, he didn't. And those guys went into the street, went into the creek, break pipeline consistently. Company lost over $2 billion for soft-pedaling crisis that you would have called them, maybe give them few millions of naira, and then warn them, and then give them induction and give them attribute training that you manage their temper. And he didn't do that. He just, because he was leadership. And when the management saw, and the ownership, the investors outside there saw, say, why was this decision taken? And this guy is now notorious in the creek, living there, making sure that he cripples the company. They have to fire him. And they will now look for somebody who can manage the team. And where are they finding replacement? From social scientists, who were the people in accounting department, business administration, and logistics. And they will be able to anchor the company well. And so geoscientists are lacking at the hem of affairs of industry now. And it's depleting, it's going down. Those face is going out now. Look at NNB, look at this man, the Carey, that is now the group ACMO. If you see him talk, he's talking management. Geoscientist is good, but we have to wake up to this. If you listen to him very well, I have taken time, I've taken my notes, and I'm gonna sleep with this and chart my career upward. So leadership is it. At the level where we start, we see that we are all doing our professional work, but it comes to a time that much that is needed from you is ability to manage a team, is leadership management, crisis management. And he said that crisis will always be there. You don't say, oh, there are no crises, go and manage. No, they are putting you there to solve problems. And those problems must be, and you can only be assessed depending on the problem you have solved, you've sat on, how you want to keep the business floating. Because we are doing business now. We are all businessmen, wherever you are working. So they see how you can sustain the business. If you cannot sustain the business, then you are failing automatically. So leadership is not about, I'm an engineer, I did this, I have a PhD and that. But just a HND owner, HND holder will sit down, assess the crisis, and handle the team. So that is how, that's my take home on this. And I believe this spreads across. That's why I'm making the suggestion that at November meeting, they should insert this in some of the workshop, or maybe management session, where we are tailored towards this before we lose everything. And if you notice after exploratory work and fields are discovered, geologists are played down very low. Engineers take over the production. Engineers grow at the hem of affairs. Engineers becomes the CEOs. Look at after Austin Aburo exited Seplat, is geologist. The next person there, what is it? What can we say? I'm not saying that he is not a good guy. Please, this is a public platform. But we don't have a succession plan. And so we should be looking at this. Geoscientists make the well. Engineers drill the hole. We make the oil. We bring the oil. And engineers drill the hole. And at the end of the day, they use us as 10, 11, they dump us, and the hem of affairs, you see, plot the graph now. Take all the organizations in the world. See how many geoscientists whom the oil deposit who discovered the oil deposit are sitting on the hem of affairs while the exploitation is going on until the end of field life. So these are lessons we should take back home and then reconfigure ourselves and look at how we go into leadership courses to develop ourselves, to train ourselves, because industry is changing. An investor is looking for one thing, profit. Anyone who can manage the profit, they don't care about what you read. And if you know what you read is what is keeping us in that business, please try to fine-tune yourself to get stay in the business and bring other people there that are of the like minds and like career. So I now, that is my short summary as the chairman of this technical meeting. If there are some questions, if you have raised your hands, you can raise it, and the presenter, erudite presenter is on board. He will be able to handle it. Hello, coordinator, am I heard?
Yes, you're very heard. You're heard quite well. Thank you so much for an excellent summary. And at this moment, probably if you have a question, please send it to the chat room. And I'm so much afraid that we don't have so much time. So we can take a couple of questions, but you can also always reach out to the speaker at any time through me, and then probably you will be able to communicate with you. Like we said, we've taken home your point. This is something that we must think about and include in our convention in November, and probably create an opportunity. Thank God that our esteemed EIC, the editor-in-chief, Professor Sofolabo is here. Thank you so much, sir, for coming for this meeting. We really appreciate you. One more time, I want to also thank our dear Vice President, Mr. He, for also coming for this meeting. And every other leader, especially our former president, Mr. Alex Tucker. Thank you for staying to the end of this meeting and even being part of the game. We're excited about you, and we're excited about what you're doing in the niche of oil and gas. So at this moment, I want to draw this to a close, and I would like to have a final, I have a professor here, Professor Juliet, the coordinator of Warri chapter. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being part of this meeting. I want to also thank Mr. Wasiu Lawal. Thank you so much, advisory council members. Dr. Wilson Osung, thank you for being a part and supporting Uyo Calabar chapter. Our president was here earlier on, he took the speech, so I'd like to have the vice president to give a closing remark before we give a vote of thanks and end this meeting. I also have my president-elect, John Bosco. Thank you so much, Oga John Bosco. It's so glad to have you here, even with your busy schedule. And most of our leaders are right now at NMGS conference. Would have had a fuller house, but the conference is ongoing. I think today is the final day, but we still, because things are clogged up, we still had to hold this. So look forward to our next technical session, which is coming up in the month of April from Chevron. We'll be having Dr. Clement speak to us, and I believe that is going to be very impactful. So thank you so much, my chairman. And at this time, I'd like to take the closing remark from the Vice President of NAPE, Mr. Ehi Bazwaye. Mr. Ehi, are you here? Okay, please, can we hear from the president-elect?
The president,
John Bosco? Oga John Bosco, are you on ground, please? Can you just give us a closing remark?
Okay, many thanks, our dear Uyo Calabar chapter coordinator, the entire ESCO of or executives actually for the chapter. And good afternoon, everybody. Again, my apologies, of course, I joined late to this one, but I managed to join in between. I really want to say this is one of the avenues that we typically use, of course, to extend our discussion around what is happening in the industry from technical and non-technical issues. And on that reason, I really want to say a big thank you to our speaker, Mr. Keynes, for at least offering yourself to be able to share some of the insights that you have shared with the audience today. Maybe you're not a NAPE member, but I think this should really bring you closer to NAPE going forward, I must say. So really thank you very much. And then also the chairman for the session. I may have missed that, but correct me, Dr. Harry, on who was the chair, but really special
Dr.
thanks.
Dr. Akman, former, yeah.
Oh, okay, our own, okay,
yes,
nice.
Yes.
Yeah, my PE.
Oh, okay, no, this is a very great one. No, many thanks,
Yeah.
and we know what you've been doing for us and continue to do. So really thanks for being able to anchor this one for us today. And of course, I see the president is still on the call, and other ESCO members which you recognize. I really want to say thanks, because I mean it's not easy as executive committee members of this association to be able to juggle the work and move around to participate in some of these activities that we're doing. So really thanks. I don't want to go through the list, but I already heard you mention some of them, like the EIC, the Warri chapter coordinator, and the vice president himself as well. So many thanks for staying in here. And like you mentioned, our own former president and a fellow of the association, Elestaka, again, not just for Uyo Calabar, I mean, everywhere you go, even when we're in Abuja, he was there supporting us, and continues to do so. So really thanks for staying connected to the vision you believe in. And every other AC member or the BOT that may have joined before now. And I also see some other fellows on the call, like our own KK, Mr. Kano. So really thank you to every single one, because we just have to continue to stay connected to what we do through this sharing. This is the only way we enhance our knowledge, but also remember that we are the knowledge base of the industry. And therefore, this is the best place to get it. And for every other person that has been on the call from the beginning, joining, but have left, I do want to say thank you for your continuous commitment to this association. And as you heard the chapter coordinator say, even watch out for more. This is just the beginning, right? For the whole year, just watch out for more of these sessions, and I'm sure you will not regret it. It's going to be quite enriching. So I really want to say thank you very much. And I'm sure the announcement would have gone through as well. Upcoming things that are coming, the conference is by the corner. If you have not, put up your paper, the abstract call is out there. Just ensure you have your abstract submitted so that in November, we will continue this kind of technical sharing with you. And also plan to participate actively in other events that we have, either through the committees or in actual attendance in November. So on that note, I think I will hand back to the chapter coordinator who has been doing a great work with your executive. So I will just say more grease to your elbows, just continue and just be rest assured that from my side, also coordinating and chairing the continuous education program, the president who is still on the call, you will get the maximum support that you need to deliver all the goals as a chapter. Thank you very much. And back to you.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. John Bosco, and thank you for joining the call. And I want to finalize by thanking our president for staying with us, doing such a great job for NAPE all over the world. And at this moment, I want to especially thank the speaker who, like you said, John Bosco, he just joined NAPE. In fact, yesterday, we were trying to click on the link of membership, because he was signing on. I called Tunde. Tunde said there are some services right now going on the membership portal. So very much he is joining NAPE and is coming quite close, and we'll be having the opportunity to, to engage from time to time. I want to thank the chairman and every other person that is here for being part of this meeting. And then on a final note, let me invite the GS to give a vote of thanks and closing prayers. Thank you. GS.
Thank you very much, my coordinator, and thank you everyone for participating in today's technical meeting. Thank you to the speaker. Speaker, you've done an excellent job, and we are really very grateful. Thank you, President NAPE, and all the dignitaries that are present in today's meeting. Dr. John Bosco has done a great deal of thanking. I don't think I can do anything better than what he has done so far. But we members of the executive, on behalf of the coordinator and other members of the executive committee of Uyo Calabar chapter, wish to express our profound gratitude to everybody who connected to today's technical meeting. We say, may God bless you all, and we look forward to having you attend our future technical meetings. Thank you. God bless you all. Back to you, coordinator.
All right, please, I want to encourage everyone to pay their dues. It's so important that we pay dues in NAPE. NAPE is an organization that thrives on dues, and you see the wonderful things NAPE is bringing, information. If you look at the website, technical meetings are going on everywhere. And so please, if you have not updated your dues, make sure that you pay your dues. It's so important. Even as a chapter, we need to update our dues so that we can be a beneficiary of everything that goes on, including the subvention that normally is given every year. Thank you very much, and for everyone for coming up. And at this moment, I declare that the Lord will guide us and protect us and continually, allow His Spirit to flow through us, even as we drive programs in this industry. We give God praise for everything and for a successful technical meeting. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a wonderful day ahead of you. Thank you, my president. Thank you, all the EXCO members, and God bless everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Professor Juliet, are you there?